Yes, if I can ask Brent Baker. Present. Fred Ackerman.
Good job.
How about Bob Greenwell?
Way to go, Bob.
Congratulations, Bob.
45 years.
45 years. 45 years.
Wow, Bob.
I have to say that, as you know, half that time or more, like almost 25, I've done interclubs. And Pete is riding with me quite a bit this year, and he said, well, how many interclubs have you done? And I said, I don't know. So we started figuring up, and it's probably like in the 800 to 900 range. And probably close to 20,000 miles over that time. So anyway, it's a lot of fun to go to the other clubs. I've enjoyed it. But my wife is always saying, you going to lunch again?
In which case you say, no, it's breakfast this week.
Thank you.
I have a handful to give out as well in President Ken's absence. First, for 55 years in the club, actually my sponsor to the club, Neil Smiley. Neil, where are you?
Wow.
And we have one for Ken Miller, but I didn't see Ken. Is Ken here? And his is for 30 years in the club.
Wow.
So we'll make sure he gets that.
Except that we never see Ken.
We never see Ken. Sometime, yeah, it's been a while.
Oh,
Maybe
a
do
couple of
something.
years.
I saw him yesterday.
For the right reasons, I hope.
Yeah.
Hopefully he was coming to your office. And then another one for 55 years in the club for Dwayne Tabor. I'll take it.
That's pretty fair. I didn't know you were as old as I am. I wish I was in good shape.
So if we could have maybe a group photo right at the end, those Legion of Honor award winners that are here today, that would be awesome. And now for our special presentation of the day, I'll turn it over to Carlette.
Today we have the excitement and honor to present another Hixson Award in this club. And I'm very pleased and privileged to be able to hopefully orchestrate that event today. In view of what we've done before, I would like to introduce all of the people who have Hixsons in the club. We've tried to do this to maintain some of the history that we have in our club. The first award was given to Clellan Buck Mitchell. Many of you may not have known him, but he was a club secretary for some 25 years with, he always got the banner patch every year, and which means he made sure you got your reports in on time. Fred Shields, and Russ Wiseman and Ray Rose, all four of those have passed away at this point in time. Now I'd like to move on to the living. Dr. Tom Cooper was elected, and he hasn't been a member for a number of years, but many of you know him. In addition to that, we have Ed Ray. Ed, would you like to stand up? I'm just going to ask you to stand where you are. Thank you. Then we have Webster Jackson.
Hey, Webster.
Pete Felstead. And the last award that we made was Neil Smiley. I think it's great that, thank you, you can sit down now. We'll have a picture. We'll have a picture after the ceremony is over today. As you can see, we have a number of these people who have been in the club for 50-some years. They're still active, they participate, they give wonderful history to the club, and I think that's something that makes us very special as a club, even though we've only been in business for 90 years. At this point, it is my pleasure to introduce our awardee today. I have a lot of information here, and we'll just see how it goes. At the end, we will have an open mic. I know of one or two people who would dearly love to have the mic at the end. And at this time, please give a rousing applause to Robert Bob Greenwell. It was a good thing we caught him on a day when he wasn't on an inner club. Well, this is some of the historical information, and before I go through that, I have another special guest that I want to invite to the microphone, and that is Bob's wife, Jan. Excuse me, Jan. Would you please come forward? Thank you.
Now he's worried.
Thursdays are sacred. They always were. Bob will be busy on Thursday for sure. Don't get in his way. Don't make him late. He has a very important date. It's Kiwanis. But now it seems Thursday is not nearly enough for him to accomplish all the important stuff. There's meetings on Wednesdays and Monday too, and Tuesday and Friday, to name just a few. It's Kiwanis. And when the alarm rings at 5 in the morning and Bob leaps out of bed without any warning, am I concerned? There's really no need. It's a breakfast club visit, indeed. It's Kiwanis. I get phone calls from guys, some I don't even know, always to tell Bob they can or can't go. Making sure there are 4 so the inner club will count is a concern that's obviously paramount. It's Kiwanis. They lunch in Walla Walla, go to Dayton for dinner. Dayton's Methodist ladies' food is the winner. I've heard stories about Milton Freewater's Oasis and several other interesting places. Sometimes I wonder just what all they do. Bob knows the Walla Walla wineries, quite a few. And then there's the night they banged up my new car, hitting a deer who had strayed a bit far. All for Kiwanis. Bob came to Pasco in January of 1939, Lady of Lourdes Hospital, right on time. He's been a loyal Pascoite all of his life. He even converted his Seattle-loving wife. 624 Bonneville was their family home. A 3-digit number rang the telephone. He rode his bike in the gravel pit that became Edgar Brown, and 10th Street was the very edge of the town. Bob went to kindergarten at the naval base and swam in the big swimming pool, a wonderful place. His grade school was Longfellow, the old one that burned down, and Pasco High was brand new, the pride of the town. Bob loved his years in the Pasco JCs, then Mark Pence asked him to join Kiwanis, please. He has loved it, from graduation all-nighters to crab feeds, and all those other Kiwanis good deeds. He has loved it all, the fellowship and the fun, the programs you learn from, the friends that are won. And as you pay him this honor, I am so filled with pride. Thank you, Kiwanians. It's been a great ride. Thanks, Kiwanis.
Boy, I bet you hate to see me come back. I had some information that I would just fill in from some of the, I guess you'd say, facts. The interesting thing about going to school out at the airport, I guess, was way back when the naval base was there, and some of those buildings were used for Pasco High, and obviously that's where CBC started. In terms of the McLaughlin, that's always been confusing because that school has transformed into a lot of different entities, from a junior high, I think, to a high school, and now City Hall. And as you know, that's a wonderful use of that building that the city and the school district cooperatively worked on, and I think that's fabulous. And for people who've gone to school there, that's got to be a real interesting thing to go in and find no basketball hoops, just the city chambers. Bob in high school, I was told, played the baritone horn in the school band, which brings up the question that I don't know if he played in the Kiwanis band that was going on.
No, I didn't.
You didn't. That must have been before him. Our Kiwanis Club had a band. They played gigs around town, and I don't know if any of you were involved in that. I'm sure Judge Tabor could fill you in on the details. Activities in school were many. He was vice president of his high school class in 57. One thing you may not know is Bob attended his first year at the University of Oregon. You know, all these years we thought he was a Husky, but there was a duck in the background. He graduated from the university. He then transferred to the University of Washington and graduated there with a business degree. Well, while attending college, many of the people that lived on the eastern side of the state rode the train for transportation back and forth. And as Jan alluded to, they were in the King Street station one time waiting for the train to come home. She was going to Yakima where she lived, and he was coming to Pasco, and they met at the train station. And it must have been a long ride to Yakima because they got very well acquainted, and obviously later they were married. Bob, they moved back to Pasco. Bob began his career in business with Crescent Drug. Talk about a Kiwanis full circle. I think the owner of Crescent Drug was Spence Gillette Sr. And he later worked for Prudential Insurance before moving over to IFC Insurance, which you know is Jack Williams and now Kevin Williams. So they have a son, Jay, who lives in Seattle, and a daughter, Kristen, of whom you were introduced to today, and she is married to Lloyd Wright, obviously, and they have two sons, one of whom we found out is a hydroplane driver. I think it's really interesting to kind of know a little bit of that background. All these years I thought Bob was a pharmacist, and I found out that he wasn't. He was working in the business side of the drugstore. You heard about JC's. Nothing was said about the wild times at JC's, but they had an interesting new member drive. If you woke up some morning and there was a goat in your backyard, that meant that you had to get a new member to get rid of the goat. And so that was what you call motivation. Bob and Jan both have been really strong supporters of the arts in the community. Waterfall, as you can always find them decked out and entertaining Waterfall this weekend at their house. We look back at the records, and we're not just exactly sure, but the president of the Kiwanis Club in the year he joined, which was 1969, it was either Arnold Nebel, N-E-B-L-E, Arnold Nebel, or Dwayne E. Tabor They were presidents during the year of 68 and 69, or 69 and 70, right in there. And we would ask Dwayne to fill us in on that, but we don't have time. You all know how active Bob has been in this club. It's just been he's been a tremendous asset and active all the time, and not only supporting all the activities, and you talked about interclubs. I did some rough calculations because I had thought that 18 years as the interclub chairman was the number, and he's much more than 18, but I did some similar calculations, interesting enough, and I came up with 650 club visits, 15,000 miles, and 750 gallons of gas. And who knows how many skunks, rabbits, squirrels, and deer were left in the wake. One thing about being an interclub chairman like that, he ran the wheels off of that little red Honda, and he was able to buy a Lexus. So keep that in mind if you want the job. We have a little bit of time, and so I wanted to share, for some of you it's history, for some it's ancient history, and for some it's real life, but some of the facts. In 1969, in the good old US of A, in that year, and these are somewhat in chronological order of the year, Stan Musial and Roy Campanella were elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Pistol Pete Maravich scored 66 points in an LSU game. New York Yankees Mickey Mantle retired. Paul McCartney says there's no truth to the rumors that he is dead. Charles de Gaulle resigns as the president of France. Joe Namath resigns from the NFL after Commissioner Pete Rozelle said he must sell his stake in the bar that he owned. The United States withdrew $500 bills, $1,000, $5,000, and $10,000 bills from circulation. Obviously, they replaced it with $2 bills and Susan B. Anthony. July 20th, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin landed on the moon. How many here remember that? Watched it on TV?
Boat race Sunday.
All right.
Boat races, watching it, boat races.
Yeah.
On July 21st, Neil Armstrong stepped on the moon. The next item, Manson family committed the Tate LeBlanc murders. As many of you know, Sharon Tate was a resident of Richland here, and she was involved in that, unfortunately. Woodstock Music and Art Fair opens in New York. Did you go to Woodstock that year?
How many of you missed that?
You missed that.
That was the interclub there.
Willie Mays becomes the second player to hit 600 home runs. The Beatles released Abbey Road. The Supremes released Someday We'll Be Together Again. Russians sent Soyuz 7 into space with 7 astronauts aboard. Apollo 12's Conrad and Bean became the 3rd and 4th humans on the moon. Kansas City outfielder Lou Piniella, Sweet Lou, is voted American League Rookie of the Year. Hello Dolly with Barbra Streisand premiered that year. Peter, Paul, and Mary's Leaving on a Jet Plane reaches #1. And Kathy Whitworth, the LPGA golfer, won 7 LPGA championships that year. Folks, I'm out of material, and I'm going to turn it over to our president to make the award of all the hardware. Thank you for your time.
We've got all sorts of good stuff for you here, Bob. So on behalf of the club, here, I'll come around here. Thank you for all your years of service. You set a great example for us that are of the next generation on how to carry forward, along with all the rest of the Hixson winners. Proud to call you a friend, and I'm glad that Ken was gone today, so I got to be the one to award this to you. Very nice.
Nice, yeah.
Very nice. addition, looks like we've got a new lapel pin for you. Didn't look to see what all was in here. Oh, and an additional, so there's a, looks like there's a metal in that can stay in the frame, and then an additional one that's separate for you too, so, very good. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
This is free of fine.
Free of a fine.
Webster.
We'll have
Well,
Webster pay.
it's been
Webster.
great being in Kiwanis. I really enjoy it, and I love doing interclubs, and I did my spiel there, but it was always great riding with some of the past people at different meetings, some of the old timers, Ivan Hastings, Fred Shields, Merlin Giles, some of the good old members that would go in interclubs, and they often like to go to out of town. And we've got some great loyal interclubbers that help me out, that go out of town with me, and so I can't name them all because I don't leave anybody out, but I appreciate all the help anybody gives me to make enough interclubs to get our round robin. And we're now required to do sponsored clubs like key clubs and stuff, so we're trying to get that done now. So thank you all, I appreciate it, and this is great. I love it. Thank you.
Well, we have one. This is dangerous, I know.
Very, very dangerous. Bob, I want to congratulate you on this award here. And I know many of you wonders why I have this great coat on and this type of thing with this Hixson. It's kind of a statue to show Bob how Bob would look. You won't look quite as good as I do. But you'll look when he unfolds all of this hardware here. This is what he look like. But really, what I'm here for is kind of give you a Bob, it's already been mentioned about how many interclubs and so forth that Bob has been the head of and this type of thing. Well, when I was lieutenant governor and we had a division council meeting down in Dayton, my wife and I, we left a little early. And I know that we were the only one, I mean, we were ahead of every Bob. Bob had his crew down there. And I knew we were ahead of them. And I passed that deer, and I said, you know, I should stop. Because Bob is coming, I don't know how far behind me he is. But Bob is coming, I should do something. But I didn't.
Say that to his wife.
But Bob did. We're laughing now, but it wasn't funny, was it, Bob?
Especially when I got home.
But anyway, Bob ran into the deer that I should have ran off the road.
Let's give him another big hand for Bob.
Bob, speaking of interclubs, I think you need one more.
All right, I'll be on the phone.
Let me make one more statement. Jan, you know, it was a long time before I knew who you were, but I knew your voice so many times because I called Bob's house and Jan would answer and she would say, Bob? And when I saw Jan, it was kind of surprising to me to put the voice with the face. I said, I knew it was a beautiful voice, but I didn't know how beautiful the lady was until I saw you.
Make it up for her. I'm trying to make up for her. You old devil.
Jack,